very
And his kids were always taking notes of what they liked, what they didn't like on the little notepads that I would give them. So that was super
so
cute.
that was helpful to know what they wanted because I mean
Hmm.
it just wasn't about us; it was about our kids as well. So that I mean them taking notes and passing them on to you kind of helped you to filter through what we wanted, what we were looking for, what they were looking for. So
Welcome again to my podcast, Get Real, Stay with Liz. And I want to welcome my first guest for today. Can you introduce yourself, please?
my name's Jose Castro, and I am a native of Paso Robles and a client of Liz.
Perfect. So, Jose, can you tell me how was your experience as a first-time home buyer? Uh, buying your first house.
It was a lot to take in, a lot of information to process, but I mean having the right person to guide you through um, viewing multiple houses to understanding what you want versus what you like and not jumping on the first house that you see. And that's where having an agent like yourself to guide me and my family on choosing the right home made the process really easy, made the decisions that we made a lot less stressful to make. And so it wasn't too bad, but I mean, we did have a lot of obstacles and bumps along the road of our home buying journey. We had one pretty bad. Um, what do you call it?
Escrow.
One bad escrow that we learned a very valuable lesson in.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I mean, overall, it was had its ups and downs, but in the end, um, you made it happen for us, and we are ever so grateful that we had you as our agent.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Jose, you mentioned about not jumping into the first house. Can you tell us a little bit about that particular scenario?
So that one, we went to go see a townhouse that had what we thought all the right ingredients to be our forever home. But once you helped us to simmer down and not get too excited, we started to weigh in like all the extra stuff that came with it, the HOA fees, you know the smaller rooms, not so much of a backyard, and just being in a community that really helped us to step back and think like, is this what we want? Do we want to pay such a crazy high HOA fee? Those types of things that we weren't thinking because we were just super excited that this was going to be it. Like first house we saw, we were about to pull the trigger on it, but um, having you to like really question our decision was really nice because you saved us from a lot of stuff.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So, Jose is talking about an HOA fee. Usually, a lot of the properties have an HOA fee. It could be as little as $50 to what he and his family went to go look at was like $500 extra a month, and that can be another 100,000 or more in purchasing power. That kind of offset, regardless if they were to win the lottery tomorrow and pay off the house, they were still going to be obligated to pay that HOA fee. And not only that, but the HOA fee continues to go up. Um, what about that escrow that you said it was kind of like a little nightmare?
So that was a house that I had seen. I saw it online. The price was a little bit above our reach, but I said it was up the street from where we were living at the time. So I said, why not? So we shot an offer for the max that we could afford, and to our surprise, they accepted our offer. So this was in June when we did this,
Mm-hmm.
and then the little things started to happen. Like it was during COVID, they still had tenants. The tenants didn't want to move or couldn't move out. And then so we were kind of just waiting. We agreed to wait until the tenants were out. But little did we know that from June turned into September. Interest rates started going up. September turned into
Prices
November.
went up.
Prices went up. Like we were, because we waited almost 6 months to have the rug pulled from underneath us, and they decided to sell it for a higher price to someone else. We ended up missing out on a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So that was our experience with waiting and someone just selling it to somebody else for a higher price.
Yeah, unfortunately, we had a little bit of bad experience on that one. I gave him the option to either wait or start looking somewhere else. But, sometimes when we have our heart set for something, we desire it, we want it, and we patiently waited. But unfortunately, the time wasn't right. And I guess the property wasn't meant to be because COVID came up, and then they had tenants in there, and then they were taking advantage of the COVID situation. So now they were like squatting and not wanting to leave. And then by the end of we were ready to move out. We were excited and we're like, yay, we're gonna close the escrow. And then the sellers decided to sell it for more since it was more beneficial for them. Unfortunately, they didn't give us the opportunity, but got some, we had something better for them. And tell us about the new house.
So then we fast forward from that bad experience. We still waited another, what was it, 4 months, 5 months, somewhere in May. We found another house in San Miguel, and it was a corner house, big lot, big yard. It's really nice. It was simple, which was what we wanted. And then so we decided this was the house. We put it in offer with 6 other people, and then we also wrote a letter addressed to the sellers, and didn't think much of it. Didn't think it was gonna, nothing was gonna happen with that letter. But in the end, they ended up choosing our family because of that letter, because they also had a family. They raised their family in that home, so it kind of hit home for them to sell their house to a young family like us that had 3 kids. So you just never know. You never know what people are thinking, what that letter can do for you and your family if you're in the process of competing against other people.
That's right. So a lot of the times me as an agent, I look to see if it's an investment property or if it's somebody that's actually been living in that property for a while. And I'll know if that letter is going to be beneficial or not. If it's an investor, obviously they want more money, so then it will be irrelevant for us to write a letter. But when it's a family that's living there and they want to, continue to have somebody else living in that property that's going to take care of their house that was their first house at one point, they choose the right family. And I was very happy and glad that they accepted our offer. They were, they felt like they were the right family to continue to treasure their household.
Yeah, it was an awesome surprise. It's one of those things where, like, you've been jaded and wronged almost from a bad experience. It kind of like puts a sour taste in your mouth moving forward with house hunting and stuff. But that was really like a blessing for our family to be able to know that there are still good people out there that are just looking to pass the torch to the next family, to take care of their home and make sure that the people that they're going to sell it to are going to also make it their forever home. So, that experience was super special for us and for our kids, to finally have their own home, their own room, a space to to do what they want and not be so cramped. So it was,
And now have their own puppies.
and have our own dogs, which is another podcast for later.
Right. No, I am so happy for them, after a disappointment and then another disappointment to finally be the chosen one, against like 7 other offers that were in the table as well. It just feels so rewarding and so much appreciative of the situation.
Agreed. It was, so I mean, when you have the right person leading you,
O sea, yo. I'm just kidding.
Liz, when you have Liz on your side, on your team, it when I messaged her one, or I commented on her post once, and I called her the fairy godmother from Cinderella.
Right? Beebity bobbity boo.
That's who she is. Like, she's a super hard worker. She'll do what she tells you she'll do, and that's for us. That was really important to have someone who keeps her word, who worked really hard for us, and like I said, we'll forever be grateful for you for being who you are.
Thank you. That means a lot. It really does. I appreciate that. I also wanted to ask you, how was the experience like on the everyday showings? I really enjoy showing property to your kids. They're so smart, future entrepreneurs for sure. And I miss showing properties because I think that to me is the hardest part, because you built that relationship with your clients and then all of a sudden they get the keys and it's kind of like another face and you're like, can they come back and buy another house? Because I do miss that. Yeah, working on it.
So yeah, I mean the showing of homes was, our kids loved it. They learned a lot from you. They learned that anybody can be who they want to be, and them being with us, with you showing us the houses and explaining how it works and how buying and selling and all these terminology things. A lot of my kids, they picked it up. They were like, I want to do what she's doing. I want to be like Liz. And that was probably one of the coolest experiences, to just see their entrepreneurial spirit like come out because of seeing you and listening to you. So that was neat for us. But the home showing process with you was really smooth. It was, you showed us the homes that we wanted to see. There was no you didn't pick houses for us. You let us choose the ones that we wanted to see. You recommended homes. You made recommendations. You kind of guided us without telling us, which was nice, because it didn't feel like you
pressured.
There was no pressure from you at all. It was, you want to see that house? Let's go see it. Or you'd be like, hey, here's these 3. Do you guys want to see any of them? And then you would leave it to us to pick from those 3 or all 3. So it was very pleasant. It was very...
and his kids were always taking notes of what they liked, what they didn't like on the little notepads that I would give them. So that was super cute.
So that was helpful to know what they wanted, because, it just wasn't about us. It was about our kids as well. So that, them taking notes and passing them on to you kind of helped you to filter through what we wanted, what we're looking for, what they were looking for. So you made it interactive for everybody, which was nice, because my kids enjoyed being there instead of just moaning and groaning that we're going to go see more houses.
Yeah, they're always excited.
Yeah, you made it fun. So that was definitely a plus.
Thank you. And I did notice that they did learn a lot, because when we closed escrow, they were even my, how do you call it? They did my boomerangs or my stories and giving opinions of what, not buy that car first, buy the house first. And so they were learning throughout the whole process. And it's just kind of rewarding for me, because you're seeing our future growing as they go and learning as they go, and for their future. That makes any
And
sense.
that was, I mean, they were able to see what's possible. That it
Yeah.
wasn't just, you have to do this or you have to do this type of job.
Mm-hmm.
They learned that you can sell houses, you can be successful at it, you can make a living from it, um, and that all of that they learned it from watching you, which was cool. Like, I mean, I could have told them,
And watching you guys, because you guys are leading by example. You guys are a young couple buying your first house, and now they're already looking forward to buying their house. And then you guys broke that generational curse that we were talking about last week.
agreed.
So congratulations on that.
Thank you. And it's funny you mentioned that because yeah, they already have, they know what they want. They know, when they grow up, what it's going to take to get those things, that house or that car or whatever they plan on buying in the future. They know now what it takes. That it takes work. That it takes effort. That um, the opportunities that they have now are endless.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, it's refreshing to hear that from them, to know that the value of work,
Mm-hmm.
and that it's not going to be given or handed down, that it's actually going to have to be earned, just like we earned um, being able to purchase our first home.
Mm-hmm. So how has it been living in San Miguel now for
It's home ownership is it's a lot like work. I mean, I work for the city of Paso Robles. I'm a building maintenance technician. So, we've fixed light bulbs, plumbing, electrical, carpentry,
maintenance?
maintenance stuff. So I tell myself I've been training myself for the last 9 years for the moment of home ownership. And yeah, I've been fixing disposals and a lot of maintenance work that comes with home ownership. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not just buying the house and the house will maintain itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's more buying the house, get ready to do the work to maintain your house, to fix things that break, to fix the screens on the windows that your dog rips apart, the fence boards that he karate chops in half. So
So it's fun.
it's fun at times, but it's like anything.
Mm-hmm.
It takes time, energy, and then you just. But see, at least for me now, the reward of it is that I'm fixing my house.
Exactly.
I'm fixing my yard, my fence, my windows, doors, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And it's not, when you rent, it's like, well, I'm fixing it for someone else.
Mm-hmm.
This is someone else's house. So
Mm-hmm.
I
Or
mean,
waiting for them to come fix it. You can
exactly.
just take action already.
So, I mean, yeah, it's got its ups and downs like anything, but
Yeah.
it's nice knowing that it's for me. It's for
Mm-hmm.
us. It's for my family. This is my family's home.
Exactly. And you guys get to decorate it however you want. You can make
Yep.
holes wherever you want, paint it whatever color you want, add if you
Exactly.
want, take if you want.
So yeah, no, it's going. It's going. I mean, San Miguel's nice. It's really quiet, especially that neighborhood where we got our house. So I mean, we have no complaints.
Mm-hmm.
The house is pretty solid. Haven't done much to it, but there's plans to make improvements. So
There you go.
so we'll see.
Well, I'm happy for you guys. So, Jose, I know that you mentioned you work for the city, but is there anything else that you do?
So on the side, I like to meet people and
So, like me, network.
network and doing all that stuff. So I started my own wine tour business that I operate on the weekends. Uh, it's called Luxury Transportation Services. My IG is your 805 driver.
So,
Um,
your 805 driver, follow him on Instagram.
and that's where you can see where I go, where I've been. But yeah, I mean, I do that on the weekends just to introduce myself to people visiting Paso or natives that live here that don't want to drink and drive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm your safe and sober
Driver.
driver. So anytime anybody needs anything, you want to go out with your friends, family, visit wineries, or just go out in general,
Tour the city.
tour the city. You can find me on IG on your 805 driver.
Yeah, so for anyone that wants to buy in Paso Robles or surrounding areas, he will be your driver to check out the city so you can buy a house here or just a night out in town.
Yep, you got it.
So, Jose, another question. Would you do this all over again?
I would. I mean, there is, like you always said, there's no right time to buy a house. It's when the moment feels right for you. If your
That's correct.
situation merits that
You
can
did listen to what I
always,
said.
we always were listening. So yeah, I mean, it's if your circumstances allow you to purchase a home. I mean, I would say go for it. It's
Mhm.
I mean, interest rates, the market, it fluctuates. It goes up and down. You can never time it because you either wait too long trying to time something that
Mhm.
changes just dramatically. So yeah, I would say if you can do it, do it. I mean, Paso is changing.
A lot.
With all the construction that's going on, 1,000 new homes being built in the next 5 to 7 years. Um, it's massive. The change
Mhm.
is massive, and I mean, with all those homes being built, that only means one thing for home prices here in
Mhm.
town. It's just gonna get more expensive.
More expensive. More. It's a very desirable area to live. There's a lot of wineries still coming
Yep.
in. It's just
I
crazy.
mean, there's 5 resorts that are gonna be built
Oh yeah, that's true.
in a town of 30,000. 5 more resorts, 1,000 more homes. What does that tell you?
Yeah, it's only gonna keep growing.
Yep. So
And San Miguel, Shannon, everything's gonna be one big
yep.
city now.
And that was my the reason behind going to San Miguel was once Paso reaches its limit, where's the expansion going to go?
Mhm.
What's the closest place? It's San Miguel,
Mhm.
it's Shandon, it's Whitley Gardens, it's
Mhm.
all the what we used to
Far
consider
away.
rural Paso Robles.
Mhm.
It's no longer going to be that.
Yeah.
So we took a chance on San Miguel, and I mean it's paying off.
It is paying off. I mean, you bought your house for in the low fives, and now I just saw one that sold for 620 in the same neighborhood. So it's just crazy. Properties are just going to continue to go up.
Yep.
And like what he said, if you keep waiting for the right time, the right time is never going to happen. You know, just take advantage of the opportunity when it's there for you. Obviously, you want to make sure it fits in your budget. But if you know, I've have clients that they've been saying like, I'm just going to wait for the market to crash, and that's one of the things we talked about last week. You know, we're going to be waiting for the market to crash, and the market still hasn't crashed.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I mean, the market to crash like 2000, was 2008. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that was just those circumstances were just
Different.
different,
Yeah.
totally different. I mean, they put safeguards in place from then till now to prevent such thing. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we might have a little dip here, like in
I would just say like leveling,
yeah,
adjusting,
there'll
you
be an
know, because
adjustment period.
there was a huge inflation during
Yeah,
COVID. You know,
for
there was a
sure.
lot of demand in housing and not a lot of housing available out there. So we were seeing like 40 to like 20, or, you know, believe it or not, there was like 40 offers in one property. It was just crazy. People were outbidding each other, guaranteeing the difference, paying over asking price up to 100,000. I saw, and now it's just kind of leveling down. So people are like, "Oh, we've seen price reductions." They're not really price reductions; it's just adjusting. You know, adjusting.
Adjustment to interest rates going
Mm-hmm.
up, which then
Exactly.
drives prices down a little bit. But I mean, at some point in time, I mean, interest rates aren't going to stay. at what they are.
Mm-hmm.
It's eventually some's going to give.
Mm-hmm.
It's either they're going to drop a little bit or they're going to keep going up a little
Mm-hmm.
bit. But regardless, it's whether you buy it now or 2 years from now. It's either you're going to buy it now at a higher price or buy it later at a lower price but a higher interest rate.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like you always said, it's as long as if it fits your budget, then and go for it.
Mm-hmm. And right now, people are saying that the rates are high, but they're actually normal interest rates. We've seen it in the past at 18%, or they had an 80-20. So even if it's at 6 or 7 or even 8%, you can always refinance and get out of it in the future when they drop. So
Yeah,
the opportunities are endless, like what he was saying.
Yeah, it's just a matter of if it's the right time for you.
Mm-hmm.
If it is, then
Listen to him.
then Liz is Liz is the person you want to talk to. But I mean, if you're second guessing it, then it's not the time.
Yeah.
I mean, it is an investment. It is a big responsibility. It's not to be taken lightly. So, I mean, if you're ready to go, then give Liz a call. You know where to find her.
Mm-hmm.
On her podcast, on IG, on Face.
Yes. Instagram. Follow me on Instagram or Facebook. Realtor Elizabeth Gutierrez. Or call me. 805-286-6617. Again, 805-286-6617.
So there you have it. You know who to look for.
Exactly. So how long is that?
That was 28 minutes. Nice and short and sweet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have to ask a question. You guys obviously went through the process and you go over a lot of information. At some point, Jose here was like he almost sounded like a realtor himself.
Yeah, I know.
Do you find yourself like learning something at some point from your own client? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, well, honestly, we always learn from each other, I would say. You know, that's why I say everything's so rewarding. Like every transaction is different. There's always different obstacles. I mean, people see my Instagram or my Facebook and they only see the end of it, like the rewarding side of it when I'm handing the keys to them. But they don't see the obstacles that we have to jump through in order to complete the whole transaction. I mean, I've been in escrow, like how Jose had mentioned, 6 months. We were in escrow for almost 6 months. And I've shown properties for over a year. And I just closed an escrow with my investor friends that they've been at it. I mean, we've been at it for a year as well, you know, from obstacles here, obstacles there, and things that are happening or changes in the market, or, you know, when you tell your clients, do not go out and buy a car, or do not change jobs, and we're about to close escrow, and then they, surprise, I applied for a credit card, and we're like, what? No, you know, because now you have to wait to make sure that the credit card wasn't maxed out. It's just so many different things that we have to jump through. And I'm glad that some of my clients came up to me and asked me to do a podcast or start talking about my transactions, because they don't see the behind the scenes, you know? Like Jose was saying, the whole story is about, you know, the excitement of being a home ownership and just being like pre-approved, and you just want to put an offer on the first house. And trust me, it was a beautiful house, you know, but it didn't have a yard. It didn't have a driveway. It didn't even have a garage, you know, and I know some of the things that are important to my clients because I listen to their needs, not just their wants, but their needs, you know, like, okay, I need a 3-bedroom house. I mean, I want a house on the beach, you know, but that's not what I really need. I need something to take care of my family. And so, you know, I wanted for them to really understand, is this really the house that you guys need? You know, like, I know you guys want it, but sit down, and I did a breakdown on their mortgage payment, their HOA payment, and the difference if they were to add that HOA into another payment, how much more of a purchasing power they had, where they can get the garage and the backyard. And now they have a dog, 2 dogs, right? Mm-hmm. And he has his garage, and I knew that they needed something more than that. And I didn't want them to be stuck into something that they weren't going to be happy in the end. So I just kind of opened up the eyes and opened the possibilities, I guess, for them to see options.
And that's what we really loved about Liz was it wasn't that she knew, okay, they have this amount of purchasing power. I'm going to find the first house so I can just close the deal, be done with it, get paid, and go on to the next person. She,
Yeah, because I could have easily sold them on that house.
we were like, we were done. Like that was it. We wanted it. It had a, community pool and all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. But in the end, it wasn't what we wanted. It was just what we were seeing because of the excitement that this could be our home, like our house. And so with Liz, it was just like she was like, "All right, cool, calm down. Like let's talk about this. Let's step away and see if this fits your needs." So having a person that will help you, that will guide you from start to finish is a must. Like if you're thinking of buying a home, you definitely need a realtor that'll hear you out, that won't push you into buying the first house just to make a sale. They're out there. Liz ain't one of them. She's one that will make it happen if that's the house that fits your needs, not just your wants. And going back to what she was talking about of like not seeing the struggles on her IG, I mean, home buying it's stressful. It's like for us, there was a lot of hoops that we had to jump through first, a lot of obstacles. Um, my wife not having worked for the last 6 years when we were thinking of buying a house because she was a stay-at-home mom. That was an obstacle that we had to get through, but she worked her magic and we were able to get that obstacle done and over with. Then it was, credit stuff. She helped us understand that better. She again worked her magic, got us through that hurdle. So it was a lot of work, but having her on our side, having her explain things, all the real estate lingo and terminology and stuff, and just having her her team of mortgage lenders that also helped us, did a lot for us, bent over backwards for us to make this deal happen was pretty awesome.
Thank you. And that's actually a really important key factor there. There's a lot of people that go out there and try to get a pre-approved and then they tell them, "Oh, you don't qualify," but they don't really tell them why they don't qualify, or they don't give them, the tools, I guess, to eventually get to that point. So I love helping my clients. If for whatever reason, I always tell them, if you don't qualify right now, it's okay. Let's find out why you don't qualify so that we can start, working on those things that we need. Like if it's the credit score, if it's paying down some debt, is it the term, on the job? But if him and his wife didn't know the answers to those questions, they would probably still be like, "Oh, we don't qualify," or "We wouldn't. No, why should we try? We can't get it." But we got to like I say, there's solutions to every problem. So it's all about finding solutions. Let's find out what's going on. Surprisingly, she didn't have to work, for the 6 years or whatever it is. As long as she's worked in the past, there's justifications on anything. So anything is possible. So sí se puede.
Y sí se pudo.
Y sí se pudo. But on another note, like what he was saying is, how much information did you learn from this whole transaction moving forward as well? Because now I can hire you as my assistant or your kids as my future realtor assistants because you guys seem to be understanding of a lot of things.
So for me, once we decided that home buying was the next step, I always read. I like to read on whatever subject that we're dealing with, just so that I know for myself that if the person that's telling me, hey, you need this, 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 and that, I can be like, yes, you're right. I do need this, this, and that, or no, I don't because of this, this, and this. So it's for me, it was a way to not be taken advantage of. I learned a lot of real estate terminology, the processes, what's needed, what's not. Not that I didn't trust you. It was
He
more or
didn't
less.
trust me.
It was
I'm just
more or
kidding.
less for me to know, like in case something gets missed or got missed, I can be like, hey, by the way, what about that? Because we're all human. We all make mistakes. So I just, for me, it was more or less
Reassurance.
just reassurance and just being, just knowing what I was doing, what I was getting myself into, not just jumping into it, signing, and be like, all right, cool, I'm done, and not knowing what I signed, type of stuff. But for me, I've always been that type of person that just, I've always read, financial stuff, financial reports, interest rates, markets, things like that. I've always followed that because it's always interested me to one day be in that field. But I mean, it came in handy when it came to buying a home because I understood, how markets were changing and things like that. And when you would say, oh, well, interest rates are going to rise because of this, this, and this, I would look it up. I would follow the trends. I would follow what was happening in the economy and stuff, and it made sense. So a lot of the stuff that you were saying at the time was making sense because I was back testing it from my own research. So it's, I mean, I learned a lot from the way you explain things, and aside from everything that I had already learned from just reading.
The other question that I was going to say is how many, like, did you ever feel like I wasn't answering any of your questions, like, because I always tell my clients, ask me as many questions as you guys want, because there's no such thing as a dumb question or a stupid question, or too many questions, because in reality, the dumb question or stupid question is a question that you never ask. So I always tell them, if you don't have an understanding of it, ask me again, because I know that sometimes I say things and, if you're not aware of the terms or the vocabulary or what I'm exactly explaining, it goes one ear and goes out the other. So maybe I already said it to you, but it's okay for you to ask me again until you have a actual understanding of it. Because, like you said, I don't want you to close escrow and be like, so how did it go? I don't know. It just went, you know. So how was that process?
That process for us was we had no problems with it. We appreciated the fact that you were an open book, that we could call you, message you with, questions or concerns in regards to the home buying process, and you would always answer us. You'd always get back to us either the day of, next day. We also understood that you are busy, you have other clients, you have your life besides being a realtor. So I mean, you were really responsive. I mean, we went from start to finish um, very seamlessly. No worries at all. I mean, any worry that we had or any doubt that we had, you answered that question or put that doubt to rest with your knowledge and the information that you would find for us. So it was, I mean, for us it was really nice. It was being first time home buyers. It's it seemed like a big deal, but working with you, it was very, very seamless. Like there was no like we didn't feel like you were, I don't know, trying to take advantage of us
Or not caring.
or not caring, being first time home buyers and stuff. So it was, I don't know, our experience with you was the best.
And how is it after the close of escrow? Did I forget about you guys?
No, you you never forget about your clients, which is awesome. I mean, you're always you go above and beyond. And like if you see her stories when her clients close escrow and get the keys to their house, I mean, she does stuff that I feel she shouldn't have to, but that's what makes Liz Liz. It's
Just out of curiosity, give an example.
I mean,
Yeah.
I got a knife set. I got, since I love to barbecue, she knew that. So she, gifted me a complete knife set, gloves. Our kids got stuff. We got a
They got
nice,
some lucky $2 bills.
they got lucky $2 bills. We got some tequila to celebrate with. I mean, I wasn't expecting it, so it was like we were so like happy. That day was just full of all kinds of emotions and just gratitude towards Liz for making it happen. And I mean, she goes above and beyond. That's just to say the least. So I mean, like I said, we will always forever be grateful to you and
Mm.
continue to be grateful. Like I have no problems recommending anybody to you. Your service is just like 1,000%.
You're going to make me cry.
So I mean, if no one says it, I'll be the first to say it.
Mm.
Like I don't think anybody else is like you that does what you do, that makes their clients not feel like clients. It's more like family. So yeah,
Mm.
you are part of the family. So,
Thank you. It means a lot.
Thank you.
And I did promise the kids that I was going to get them a board game, about how to manage their money and getting out of the rat race. And I had ordered it and it was in back order. And when I showed up with it, they were like, "What?" They thought I had forgotten about it, but I didn't. It was just in back order.
Yeah, no, they were stoked. Like they see their future and they know that they have options.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's thanks to you and like the time that you spent with them, the fact that you actually interacted with them and just took them into account. That's what made them feel special. It made them feel like they weren't just the kids, like they were part of the home.
Yeah, they were
buying-
part of the home buying process.
And I mean, and for us, I mean, that was huge. I mean, that's
And it's huge for me too because it's important to know like not just their needs but the kids' needs, and they were always excited to show me their outfit or I don't know, it was just really rewarding for me. So I appreciate you guys a lot. So thank you.
thank you.
Any closing statements from anybody?
I mean, we'll always, be loyal to you and what you do, what you provide as a realtor. I mean, I know my kids will probably, if they don't end up becoming realtors,
Working for me.
they'll probably work for you as their broker. But it's been surreal. Like, can't believe it's already been a year and some change since we went from, not from almost having a house to not having a house to like damn,
having the house.
to interest rates going off the chain. And that was the other crazy part was you didn't tell us, but you told us later that you had locked in our interest rate at a certain point and that it was like day 59 of the expiration of the lock. They accepted our offers. It was like that didn't hit me till later. I was like, dang, she actually
Was looking out for the best interests of you guys.
yeah, and that's I mean, that was like crazy huge because had you not, that would have been almost almost a 1%,
Yeah, 1%.
which is huge.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. So it's all those little things is what makes you such a great realtor on top of like a super awesome friend. So that is my closing statement.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. And I am forever grateful for all my clients. You know, they'll hold a special place in my heart. And just kind of like what I re-emphasized earlier. Well, I'm going to re-emphasize what I said earlier is that every transaction is a learning experience, and it's really rewarding to me. So, and not only that, but I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be able to be a part of your guys' journey in what could be one of the biggest investments in their lives. So that in itself is so rewarding to me. So thank you. Hit him up on Instagram.
Your 805 driver.
Exactly. Your 805 driver to tour the town or have a night out with your friends or family, significant other.